Okay, hello everybody. So thank you for joining me today for our Monday intention activation session. We're going to start right now, first of all, by making ourselves comfortable first. So if you can allow yourself a mini yoga, stretching yourself so that your body feels nice and loose for the duration of our session. So don't hesitate to move. If you've been sitting down for a while, you might want to stand up and shake your legs. You can do that. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, maybe your neck and head, whatever helps you to feel nicer in your body right now. And then once you've had enough of stretching, then sit back down in a comfortable position, if possible with your feet flat on the floor. So with your feet flat on the floor. And now I'm gonna invite you to just slow down your breathing and bring your attention and your awareness to notice the weight of your body, where you're sitting. And then moving your awareness again, this time into your feet. And where your feet are, just notice their weight on the floor. Notice the points of contact between your feet and the floor. And then press them into the ground a little bit more, just to feel that connection with the earth underneath. And just like that, just decide that by doing that, you will ground yourself, ground your energy into the earth. And now let's move our focus, our awareness again. And this time move it all the way back up into the area of our chest. And in the middle of our chest where our heart is. And here, let's just imagine or visualize for a moment as if our breath are flowing in and out directly through our heart. Just helping ourselves to bring our attention, bring our awareness into the heart, connecting with the heart. Here, maybe you can even hear or feel the sensations of your heart beating in your chest. Imagining your breath flowing in and out through the heart. And just breathing a little bit slower and deeper than you usually do. And in a rhythm that is comfortable and steady. So find a comfortable, steady rhythm for your breathing. Imagining your breath is flowing in and out through your heart. And let's just keep breathing that way very simply for another minute or two. And I'll let you know when we're ready for the next step. Okay, and you might already feel a sensation of calm, peace coming over you. That would be the consequence of this heart-centered breathing that we are now using. And so from this calm state, let's just first remind ourselves of the vision that we have for our future. That's our first step, reminding ourselves of the vision that we have for our future, whether it is the general vision for our whole life, our mission, or maybe if that is too abstract or not clear yet, maybe some future goals that are important to you that you're currently working towards. It could also be reminding yourself of your values. Just remind yourself of the direction that you wish your life to have. What would be the end, an end goal in the near future or more long term. So, and once you have that, now we are going to gently contemplate how the week that has just passed has been working for us. So we're just going to look and review the things that worked well for us already and the things that maybe we perceive that have not worked as well as we wanted. So just imagine for a moment that you can turn around towards your past and have a look again at how last week unfolded and just review what worked well and what didn't work so well. And just reviewing different areas of your life, be your work, your relationships, your family, your health, your passions, your hobbies, maybe your self-care, exercise, sports, any area that is important to you. And just contemplate, okay, this worked really well or this didn't. And ask yourselves, would I want more of this? Would I want to nurture this or maintain it in my life? Or on the other hand, would I rather let go of some things, change them, course correct? So without judgment, just welcoming all of the information as useful, valuable information. So allow your memory to percolate. You might notice that it is drawing your attention towards possibly specific events that happened. And also do your best to dissociate outcomes from the journey that leads to the outcome. Because sometimes we get great results, things seem to work out, but the journey that took us there wasn't pleasant at all, or didn't bring you any joy. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes some things don't work out, but the journey that took us to the end result was full of gifts and learnings, and maybe we learned a lot about ourselves in the process. So be careful not to discard some things that actually were hidden behind apparent failure. And sometimes just because things work out doesn't mean that it's something you should keep in your life or keep repeating. Sometimes just because we can doesn't mean we should, doesn't mean we have to. So let's give ourselves another 2 minutes, and I'll let you know when we're ready for the next part. Okay, so gently prepare yourself to wrapping up this part. Okay, and now Now, we are going to ask ourselves that one question. If a version of last week was to magically repeat itself into the future over and over, do you get a sense that it would bring you closer to your vision, closer to your goals? Is it already rolling down the right direction? Or or would it bring you off track? If a version of last week was to repeat itself, is it drawing a trajectory that is pointing towards your goals or that is pointing in another direction? So just notice, and again without judgment, because now we're gonna work on realigning the arrow of your trajectory to point again right in the direction of your vision. So in order to do that, let's just first invite our imagination to come along. And we are going to now imagine the best possible version of the week that is starting today. Today, Monday. So what are the best possible scenario that you can envision for the week? And to do that, you might want to use this method, and starting by first imagining yourself at your best. So imagine yourself in the flow. When you're in the flow, how do you operate? You're at your best. You're making decisions with ease. You're taking action with motivation and excitement. You're getting things done. You're in a creative and productive mood. And things seem to happen effortlessly. Even though, of course, there is action and effort involved, but it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel difficult. You're just enjoying yourself, moving through the week, generating results, achieving, being productive. So when that's the case, what happens? What do you see yourself achieving? What decisions do you see yourself making? What actions do you imagine yourself taking? What connections do you see yourself making with other people? So here, all of these things that are in your direct control, how are you impacting them because you're at your best, because you're in the flow? So just have a review, imagine, how does the week look like, sounds like, feels like when you are such a force of creation? So here, you are the generator. You are the generator of that energy, of that flow. And the next step in imagining your week would be to notice and imagine, how does the world respond to the flow that you've created? So how do people respond to your energy? And what does that create in return? So then you'll notice that things that are not in your direct control then seem to naturally work well, work in your highest good and in the highest good of everyone else too. So when you've been generating a creative, positive flow, what happens in return? What connections, what decisions other people are possibly making that benefit everyone? What possibilities are being created? What ideas are being generated? What synchronicities seem to naturally happen? And here again, allow your imagination to go wild. We're in an ideal scenario situation. Everything is flowing harmoniously. And if you're pushing your imagination a little bit further, I invite you to see if you can imagine a few surprises, unexpected possibilities that you hadn't thought about, things that might seem like it's happening out of the blue, but really they're not, because they're responses to the positive energy that you have generated. Maybe you're meeting a stranger that has a useful piece of information for a project. Maybe you're entering a new coffee shop where there are opportunities to make new connections. It can be anything at all, just some happy surprises coming along your way. And again, allow yourself to imagine with all your might. What does the week look like? What does the week sound like? What does the week feels like? Feeling like the universe is conspiring to support you. What happens which doors are opening on your path. So let's do this for another minute. And getting ready to move on to our next step. But before that, let's set an intention that, yes, we have imagined some beautiful scenarios for the week, but let's be open to consider that there are many other possibilities that we haven't yet been able to imagine. Our imagination is not even capable to envision them yet. And so let's set an intention that when such possibilities are coming our way, we will still recognize them for what they are. And even if they look very unfamiliar, we will still welcome them into our lives. So let's make sure that we will recognize new possibilities, even if they're not familiar, even if they look different from what we're used to. And we will welcome them into our experience. So once you've said yes to that, now let's move on to our next step. And for this one, very simply, just notice how you are feeling right now. Notice how you are feeling as you've just imagined the best possible version of the week. Remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between what is real and imagined. So right now, for our mind, for our bodies, this is all very real. And so how do we feel? How do we feel in this virtual week where everything works for the best? Where everything flows in the direction of our vision? So maybe this is a familiar feeling that you have, that you can name. Or maybe it's a little bit more subtle. You know, you're feeling something in your body. You might not quite know what to call it, but you can feel it. And in any case, it's just perfect. And we're just going to work on making these sensations, these feelings, more and more powerful. And to do that, I'm going to invite you to imagine again as if these sensations, these feelings, are flowing in and out through your heart with each of your breaths. And on each of your inhale, you'll notice that these feelings, these sensations are flowing into your body and they're nurturing your body. It's as if they're filling up your tank. And on each of the inhale, as these feelings flow into yourself, you can feel them more intensely. They feel more vibrant. They resonate with your body, with your organs, your cells. They're getting all of your body to vibrate to the same tune. And as you keep breathing these sensations in and out through your heart, now just notice that on each of your exhale, it's as if those sensations are flowing out from your heart and radiating into the space around you and in front of you. Every time you breathe in, you're feeling them inside of yourself. They're filling up your tank. And on every exhale, they are radiating out into the space around you and in front of you. And with each cycle of breath, they're radiating further and wider and louder. So it's as if you're oozing out this vibration, this energy, these sensations. And with each cycle of breath, they become more and more intense. They're becoming so intense, so powerful, that now it's as if your heart is absolutely overflowing with them. And it is now shooting out this amazingly powerful heart energy from your heart into the space right in front of you, like a laser beam. All of this energy is now honing in front of you like a laser. And this laser is so powerful that it is now carving out a space right in front of you. It's as if with this laser you're able to draw a door into the space in front of you, a portal. And it's a portal in space, but also in time. And you know that on the other side of this portal is your new version of the week that is starting today, is the new version of your timeline, the new version of your path, a version that is completely aligned with your vision, a version that resonates fully with those positive sensations. And you're now about to step foot in it. So now I'm going to invite you to imagine in your mind's eyes that you're walking towards the portal, walking through the portal, and now you're on the other side. On the other side, stepping into the new reality for the week. And as you do this, you just notice that the portal is gone behind you. There is no going back. You're leaving the past behind, and it's only this new version that is opened up bright in front of you. So just take a moment to take a few deep breaths, taking in this new version of reality, this new version of you. And with each cycle of breath, just imagine that you're becoming truly, fully connected with this new reality. You're getting fully connected with all the possibilities that you've imagined, all of the possibilities that are existing in this version of your timeline, this version of your reality, this version of your week. So as if it's an exchange of information between you and the universe. You're connecting with all of these possibilities that are going to support you this week to get closer to your vision. And again, just notice how that feels. Maybe it's a bit of a tingling. Maybe it's a bit of an expansion. Maybe it's a little bit of a knowing. Whatever it is for you. And now we are going to anchor. We're going to anchor ourselves in this new reality. And to do that, I'm going to invite you to touch your thumb and index finger on your right hand. And pressing your thumb and index finger together, just feeling the sensation of touch and pressure between your two fingers. And now I'm going to invite you to do the same with your left hand, touching your thumb and index finger on your left hand together, feeling these sensations of touch and pressure. And now looking for the point of perfect symmetry, perfect equilibrium between your right hand and your left hand, that point of pressure between your fingers on each hand, making them as close as possible from being the exact same amount of pressure. And as you do this, your mind is 100% fully focused on the present, on these sensations. He has no choice but to fully let go of memories from the past and preconceptions about the future. He has no choice but to be fully present and accept that it's now in a new version of your life, a new version of reality, and that it's now fully connected with all of these possibilities, all of the possibilities that you've created for yourself, all of the possibilities that you are allowing yourself now to access. So now you can release the pressure between your fingers. I'm going to invite you to try it again. Just apply the pressure again between your two between the fingers of your two hands. And again, knowing that every time you're going to be doing this gesture, every time you will be bringing yourself back to this specific timeline that you are now a part of. So at any moment during the week, when you think you've drifted off track, all you'll need to do is just bring the thumb and index fingers of both your hands together. Find that point of equilibrium, allowing your mind to release its grip, and you will be back fully present to the version of reality that supports you the best. Okay. So now you can release your hands again. And we're going to now slowly bring ourselves back to this new here and now. And to do that, let's rub our hands together until they're warm. Bring them at the top of our head. And just gently touch our body from top to bottom, starting from your head, down your neck and shoulders and arms, and then touching the front of your body, of your torso, your abdomen. Then touching the sides of your body, your rib cage and your hips. And then as much as you can, try to touch as much of your back as possible. And then from your hips down your legs, your knees. If you can, all the way down to your feet. But if you can't, it's okay. Just press your feet into the ground again as a way to acknowledge that you have now finished this meditation and that you're grounding yourself into the earth again. And now, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and say hello and welcome to a new week starting. A week that is going to work for you, a week where you have access to all the possibilities that you need to support yourself and support your vision for your goals and your life. And thank you very much for joining me today. If you're listening to the recording, thank you as well. And I shall see you again next Monday. Bye, everybody.